We are in earnings season, and that will be the focus going forward. Let's now cross to the stock exchange where Opeyemi Oladejo is standing by to give us his thoughts on the market's performance. Opeyemi, let's start first of all by watching Sterling Bank. I will be speaking to the CFO later on in the show, but can you just talk us through how the market has reacted to those numbers? Earnings up about 97% in the first half.
Thank you very much, Wale. You know, it's still early in the market, so at the last check, the price of Sterling Bank has gained about 4 kobo. And I think in the course of the week, maybe by next week, we should see some positive investor sentiments in the price of Sterling Bank, following the result that was released. That's their half-year result, which is quite impressive.
All right, let's talk about Nigerian breweries as well, because they did report yesterday as well. The share price fell back a bit, about 4% yesterday. Unilever also reported pretty flat numbers as well, and we'll be talking about those numbers when we speak to the CEO later on the show. Can you just talk us through how the market is reacting to these numbers?
Well, to Nigerian breweries, yeah, their result is quite marginal, yeah, and this is due to their rise in their cost of sales and their selling and distribution expenses, which has been on the high side. And I think the market is reacting rather negatively to it because the price at the last time I checked had lost you know, value. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we move back to the banks briefly, Opeyemi, what do you think is the implication of the Sterling Bank results for sentiment in the banking sector right now? Because we are expecting more banks to report numbers as early as next week.
Well, each bank will be viewed based on its own individual merits. You know, don't forget that Sterling Bank is doing it. It's having a rise at the moment, so that to an extent might also impact on investor sentiment on that particular stock. But having said that, I think it is the result of those particular banks, the banks based on their merits. You know, especially if you like the big four. You know, the GTB, you know, Zenith, First Bank, and UBA. You know, that will determine how investors will see those banks. I think there are news that GTB might be doing interim dividend, which of course they do, you know, every year. So investors are actually looking at, they want to know what they're going to be doing with respect to their interim dividend very soon.
All right, staying with the news around GT Bank, of course, I did mention earlier on their new investment in East Africa. Is that having any bearing at all on the share price?
Not like we would expect, you know. So not that we would expect. Much of the growth in the bank shares in Nigeria they are largely due to their performance in the Nigerian banking sector generally. So fine. I mean, as of now, I've not seen that impact on the price of GTB, you know. So I think moving forward, over time, it could be, you know, it could be that strategic investment could add value. But for now, I don't think investors are seeing much of that in the results.
All right. What are your broad expectations, Opeyemi, for the market going forward into next week? We're on the 8th day of a winning streak. Do you think this is likely to be extended into next week?
Well, I think it's going to be sustained next week, but at a rather lower rate compared to what we had this week. You saw that in the beginning of the week we had about 90% increase on the first day, followed by about 40%, then 23%, then as of yesterday about 89 basis point increase. Today the market is still quite marginal. We're seeing about 0.1 plus or minus 0.1 as at the last time. Right. But I think by next week we should see an increase, but not as sustained as what we saw this week.
What about volumes? Do you think volumes are going to pick up? We've seen them pick up a little bit over the last few sessions, but that has been a bit of a concern for people watching the market these days, the fact that the market is rising on very low volumes.
I think investors are still cautious. Maybe by the time we start seeing results, positive results from those banks, you know, then we might see higher volumes. But for now, investors are trading cautiously, and they're just, you know, cherry-picking stocks based on few volumes, just to test the grounds. Depending on the time we start seeing much results, second quarter results.